Hi everybody. It's been a couple months since I've recorded anything new, and I've just been taking some time to do some personal integration and to work with the energies that we've been receiving since last year. But I wanted to make sure I took the opportunity to share some information with you that I've been receiving, and there is definitely a recurring theme with my clients in private sessions and with friends and family and in even some aspects of my own life. And many of us are feeling really stuck right now. And here we are in 2013, and we're thinking, it's 2013, surely I should be better at manifesting, or things should be easier by now. Why do they feel so hard? Well, part of that is because we're being asked to use a brand new operating system, and it feels very uncomfortable for most of us. And there are two other aspects that I want to talk about today, and one of those is time and the illusion of time. The guides have been talking about the fact that frequencies don't move through time and space at the same rate. Lower frequencies move at a much slower pace, or the perception is that they're much slower, and higher ones move much faster, which is why over the last several years we felt this compression of time as we've elevated in frequency. And it's just one of the constructs of the game, because if you think about it this way, is we entered into density, we had all of these lower vibrational thoughts, and if things were immediately manifest, we'd be going through the death cycle really fast, and then we'd have to be starting over and over. So one of the constructs that we set up for ourselves was this illusion that lower frequencies moved at a slower rate, so that we would have an opportunity to pulse out frequency, elevate our consciousness, so that when that reflection came back, we were no longer a vibrational match for it and we didn't have to experience it. So several years ago, when you wanted to create, you would pulse out frequency, and there was a lot of momentum underneath that energy because of this time lag. There was the understanding with that lower frequency that it needed more momentum because it was going to take longer to create. And you can think about it this way: it's a bit like riding a bike, where you pedal and you pedal and you pedal, and then you take your feet off the pedals and you're able to coast. And a couple years ago, it felt like you were able to go about 3 blocks. Today, it's a little different because we're getting higher in frequency, generally speaking, and then most of us, the individual level, our consciousness is elevating, and we're getting closer to immediate manifestation. We're not quite there yet. We still have some work to do on that, but as we elevate in frequency, we don't need that momentum underneath anymore because we're closer to immediate manifestation. It doesn't have to go as far. So what it looks like is you're pedaling, and you take your feet off the pedals, and you only go about 3 feet. Now, in the past, most of us, when we wanted to create something, we would sit down maybe in the morning and pulse out what we wanted, and we'd get that feeling going, and everything would be moving. And then we'd go about our day, and then maybe at the end of the day, we'd review and we'd do it again. That doesn't work anymore. So what's required of us right now is to pay more attention to every single moment where we're vibrating, and that's what allows us the momentum to keep moving forward in the creation of a particular frequency. So last year, the guys gave the exercise to check in with yourself once an hour to see where you're vibrating at the physical, emotional, and mental levels. And this would help keep you focused. It would help keep the momentum moving forward. Now, the guides are suggesting that you check in with yourself every 15 minutes. And they suggest you do it for 3 hours because, frankly, they know nobody's going to do it for the whole day. But 3 hours is enough for you to become very aware of exactly where you're vibrating. And they say you'll be really shocked how frequently you go back to the old patterns, the old belief patterns that you're not good enough, you're not deserving, you're not lovable, all those wonderful things that the inner critic has to say that just aren't true. Now, if you simply work in the morning and then you don't think about what you want to create, or you don't check in, your frequency can alter throughout the day, so that whatever you put energy into in the morning, the momentum isn't there to carry it through all the way to the evening. And you check in again at the evening, and it's like having to start from scratch again. So if you are doing this assessment throughout the day and checking to see, where you're vibrating again at the physical, emotional, and mental levels, this will help recalibrate you so that you do keep that momentum up. Now, the other thing that people are struggling with that's keeping them feeling stuck is form, and the idea that I don't know what to do because I don't know what it looks like. Where we're headed right now is into a brand new frequency level that we haven't experienced on this planet before. So we don't have a visual template for a lot of the things that we want to create. And as you move into the higher realms, you don't work with form anyway, you work with frequency. So you have to start working with the vibrational essence of what it is you want to create and let go of the idea of form. Now, most of us get really uncomfortable because, frankly, we're control freaks. And we want to know that we're going to be safe, that we're going to be approved of, that we're going to be connected, that we're not separate. So all these reasons that we've set up for ourselves that we have to control, we have to know where everything's going. But you got to let it go. And, some people say, well, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what I want. Well, you know what you don't want. Most of us are pretty clear about that. So turn that upside down and put the opposite on your want list and start there. But you have to work with the frequency. That's part of working with divine masculine energy as well, that you aren't taking the old steps, the old ritualistic steps and how you think you need to get somewhere, but rather you're pulsing out frequency and you're observant of the frequency that's coming back to you so that you can take action and step out to meet the matching frequency. And it's much easier to manifest in that way as opposed to following the old trail that may not lead you where you want to go. So hopefully some of this information has helped you if you're having a hard time and you're feeling stuck. Hopefully that's not you. But if it is, many of us are there right now. It's a new way of being, but just keep recalibrating and resetting yourself, and eventually you will get there. Feel free to leave a comment on Facebook. If you haven't visited our Facebook page, it's Higher Frequencies. Every day we put up a new quote from the guides that hopefully sets your tone for the day, helps you to remember to think of yourself as a divine expanded being. And we also appreciate your comments. Unfortunately, I can't get back to everybody, but I do read everything that goes on Facebook and everything that gets sent to me. And I do take it into consideration when I do any of the recordings. So if I don't get back to you personally, hopefully I'll at least answer your question in one of the quotes or one of the recordings. So, I really appreciate everything that you send me and all the feedback I get. So thank you very much. So I hope this has helped, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.